Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. My project today is a treat box that holds 3 Merci Chocolates. Alright, it's perfect size for 3 of them. I think you can fit a Tic Tac holder in this too if you wanted to. I closed it with a ribbon on the side, but you can put a adhesive Velcro dot there and maybe put a bow around the top here. It measures 3 1/4 by 2 1/4 by 1/2. Alrighty, so that gives you an idea of that. I use the Snowman Magic bundle, which is the Snowman Magic stamp set along with the Snowman dies. And I also used, for this oval, I used the Fabulous Frame dies. But if you have our retired layering oval dies, you can use that. Alrighty. I got the Merci Chocolates from my BJ's Club, which is like a Sam's or a Costco. It has all these in it. It was, I think, $12 with a coupon. So you'll get a lot of them out of it for when you're using 3 at a time for a gift. Alrighty, so what we need for this is some basic white for stamping. We need a piece of shaded spruce cardstock that is 10 3/4 by 3 1/4, which means you can get 2 out of each sheet of your 8.5 by 11 cardstock. We need an oval that's about 2 1/4 by 1 5/8, but it can be anything close to that. Or you can just put your snowman right on there. You don't have to have the oval behind it if you don't want to. Alrighty, and we need 3 pieces. Now this again is the Sweetest Christmas Designer Series paper, but you could use whatever you've got. And we need 3 pieces that are 2 by 3 inch. Alrighty, I also cut from the Snowman dies 3 of the trees from Shaded Spruce. The hands I got from Early Espresso. Okay, alrighty, so let's get my Simply Scored. This is my host code. If you're going to purchase anything under $150, please put that host code in and I can send everybody a little something from that. Alrighty, we're going to start on the 10 3/4 inch side. And I have to say, I did an order from the new catalog that's coming up in January. It is adorable. And there are some very good joining bonuses. So if you were thinking of joining, I would wait until at least January 1st. Okay, so we're going to start on the 10 3/4 inch side. And we're going to score at 3 1/4, 3 3/4, 7 and 7 1/2. Then we're going to turn it to the 3 1/4 inch side and we're going to score at 1/2 and at 2 3/4. Alrighty. This is pretty convenient. You can buy the big thing of chocolates and you get 2 of every piece of cardstock, so it's pretty economical, which is good if you have a lot of teachers or co-workers or the mailman and stuff like that. If you have a lot of them you can get a lot out of that $12 box of chocolates. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing. Alright, it's not too hard. Now I used an old 2 1/4 inch circle punch, but you can use your layering circle dies, and anything that is close to 2 1/4 you can use. Alrighty? Okay, so how we're going to have this is facing up and down like this first. Okay, so you have the 2 skinny rectangles on the left and the right. And we're going to start on the left. We're going to go to the first score line and we're going to cut it to the second score line. We're going to get rid of this long rectangle on the bottom and we're going to wedge each side of this little square. Okay. All right, we're going to go to the next score line and we're going to cut it to the second score line. We're going to get rid of this piece on the bottom and wedge the square. Just a little bit. Okay, so that's what I did. All right, now turn it so that that flap that's all by itself is on the right. You're going to start at the left, go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and then wedge a little bit out of each side of that little square. Okay, now we're going to turn it all the way over so that that flap is on the left-hand side. We're going to go one to the second score line, cut it to the first score line, next score line, cut it to the first score line, and then wedge each side of the square. Okie doke. So that's what your cardstock should look like after you're done scoring it and cutting it. Okay, now before we put our box together, I want you to take one of your pieces of the Sweetest Christmas DSP that is 2 by 3, and we're going to put it on the piece that is opposite from our flap. Okay, and I'm going to use liquid glue for that. Okay, now you're going to either use your die or your 2 1/4 inch circle punch or something close to it. And what I want you to do is put the die or the circle so that move it down and stop when you first see the edges. When you see the circle hit both of these score lines, if you know what I mean, because these score lines are not going to be cut. So let me show you with this a die so that you can get it. This is the Stylish Shapes dies, and I'm not sure. Well, this will do for now. What we're going to do is we're going to move the circle until that line that's going to cut is just before either side of the score lines there. Okay, and then you tape it. This obviously will be flipped the other way, and that's what you're going to cut. All right. Or you can leave this like this, and you just won't have this cut out here. Okay, so I'm going to put my circle punch on and see when it gets to both sides. Okay, and I want it about right here. It doesn't have to be perfect. If it's a little off, it's okay. Okay, and there we have our little piece that will let it show when we open it up. All right, so now we need liquid glue again. I'm going to put a little bit on each one of these small tabs, and I'm going to connect it to this middle piece. All right, so I'm going to take the score line on the tab and make it straight with this rectangle here on the side. See this rectangle? Let me just hold this a sec. Okay. And then we're going to bend it and take the score line on the tab and connect it to the side of that rectangle there. Okay. Then we're going to take some more glue and put it on this the 2 rectangles that are next to the partial circle that we cut out. And then we're going to put it down and match it up to these side rectangles in the back here. I'm sorry, my voice is a little hoarse today. Still going through it. No fever since last week, but still recovering. And then that is your box. All right. So now we want the rest of our DSP, and we're going to put one on this front flap here. Okay, you can put one on the back if you want, but I'm going to save it for the inside. You can just cut one more, so you need 4 that are 2 by 3. And then you can decide whether you want it this way or this way. I think I'm going to, this one I put it the opposite. This time I'm going to try the same. Okie dokie. Now let's let that dry a minute. Okay, so we're letting that dry. Now we need our piece of basic white. And we need two inks. We need Real Red ink and we need Tuxedo Black. Let's start with the Tuxedo Black. And from the Snowman Magic stamp set, we're going to do the snowman. We're going to do the snowman's face. Excuse my head there. We're going to do the buttons on the snowman, which you want to make sure you put them low enough so that they don't come too close to the scarf. Okay. I'm going to do the hat. And just make sure you leave enough space for the dies. And then we need some Real Red for the scarf. Great. And also for the sentiment, which says the most magical time of the year. And this we're actually going to cut out by hand. You could put it on a die, but I had a hard time finding a die that would fit in there, so I just cut it myself. All right, so that's it for the stamping. I have already cut out all of the pieces using the snowman dies. So what we need to color on here is the nose. I used dark pumpkin pie. And for the hat band, I'm using dark shaded spruce. Okay. All right, first what we're going to do, let's get 3 of our Merci Chocolates. And we're going to put them in there. I mix it up. I usually don't give them all the same. Just like that. Okay, because then we can press on it and it's a little bit easier for us to glue. Now what we need is our 3 trees. Now I'm going to put a full tree over here. So I'm just going to put some liquid glue on this and just do the whole thing. Probably just going to go down the whole length. Just rub it around a little. And then I'm going to put it right on the edge, going right up to the top there. Okay, and now on this one, I put this tree on the top. I'm going to put that tree on the bottom. And what I did for it was I cut I cut right below the bottom branch. And then I cut off these side branches here, just to make it a little bit shorter. And this is the full one. So it's just one branch shorter, if I can get them up there. There you go. Okay. I'm going to put this one on the bottom over here to the left. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to take our circle. Alright, now I'm going to take our glittered organdy ribbon, and I'm going to get about probably 19 inches of it and cut it. And I'm going to put it around just like this. And just make it even on the sides, just like that. Okay? Alright, and then I'll just put my scissors, make it even. I'm just going to put my scissors there to hold it just for now. All right, I'm going to get some dimensionals, and I'm going to put, because this is going to help us keep our ribbon on also, I'm going to put 4. Remember, this is from the Fabulous Frames dies, or you could use any ovals you have if you don't have the Fabulous Frames dies. I'm going to make sure that our ribbon is there, about right in the middle, and then I'm going to put the oval down right in the middle there. Okay, and that will hold our ribbon on there nicely for us. Okay. Now, for the front tree, I left 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to cut after the second thing of branches, and then I'm going to cut those next lower branches. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 branches left on there, 4 sets, right? And then this is going to go here, but we're going to need a little bit of a dimensional. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a really skinny piece of a side of my dimensionals. Okay. I'm going to take one side off and I'm going to stick it on my silicone mat and then take the other side off. And then I'm going to put my tree right on top of it from the bottom. All right, and then lift it up, and then you have it on there nicely. And just put a little bit of glue on the top because that's going to touch the oval. All right, and then I'm going to put this on the bottom right corner. And I'm going to attach the dimensional and then just run the tree up and it'll get stuck onto the oval. So then we have 3 nice trees in the picture. All right, now we need our snowman and our 2 arms. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the arms on my mat where I think I'll want them. Just adjust them. Okay, that's about right. And then I'll try to leave them on the mat. And I'm just going to put a dot of glue on the circles. You could also just tape them on the back if you want to do it that way too. I'm just going to put my snowman back. You might have to adjust them just a little bit. I think I went a little over, so. This one, oops, they're moving all over. That's good. Okay, and then I'm just going to press them and let them dry a second. Oh wait, I have to do this too. Okay, then I'm going to put glue just on the brim, the back of the brim of my hat, and I'm going to put that on the top of his head. And we need our scarf right here. I'm going to put that on his neck. I'm going to try to keep it away from the buttons. They cover it a little bit, but it's not too bad. They show a little. Alrighty, now we just let him sit a minute while he dries. While he's drying, let's get our sentiment out, and I'm just going to rough cut it so I don't have to deal with the whole thing. And then I'm just going to kind of swirl around. You can cut this with a tag if you want, if you can find one that fits, but I couldn't right offhand, so I decided to just do it by hand. It's a little bit forgiving too, since there's polka dots on the inside. And then, oops, that's the wrong one. Then I'm just going to open it, and I'm just going to glue that right on there. Yeah, I think I like it better with the red. I want to get up any glue that squirts out so it doesn't close my project. All right, then we're going to tie a bow on the right hand side. And you don't want to cut it too short so that when they get it as a gift, they might want to retie it. Yeah, so I think 18 inches of ribbon is perfect. Alrighty, now we're going to get our snowman off, and we're just going to glue him straight onto the, so I don't want his arms kind of flapping, so I'm just going to glue him right down. Okay, and there we have it all together. Alrighty, and for my team challenge, I had to use 2 kinds of embellishments. So if you were lucky enough to get these adhesive backed stars, I'm going to use those, but you can just use regular rhinestone, basic rhinestones if you don't have them. Alright, for my one embellishment, I'm going to take a red rhinestone basic jewel, and I'm going to put it on his hat band. And then I'm going to use some of these small stars. And I'm going to put one up here above him on the left. And I'm going to put one on the bottom of this tree. And one right here on this tree. 1, 2, 3. And that's it. Put this like that so you can see better. There you go. Okay, if you have any questions, my email is below, along with the link to my website that has, there's still a bunch left from the mini catalog that is going to be retiring. And there's still a bunch left from the last chance sale if you're interested in anything. Don't forget to put my host code in if you're going to spend under $150. And the link to my blog is below that will have all of the measurements. Have a great day, and I will see you next week. Bye.